What's up everyone, welcome back to Miami Miles. My name is Mickey. In this video I'm going to tell you why the GT3 Touring, that little guy right there, is the single greatest daily driver ever in the history of all cars, period, exclamation point. There is no argument. After having it for a week, I've realized that this thing is more than a car, it's an experience. It's the single most cathartic experience in the world. Anytime I'm stressed out, anytime I'm pissed off, I jump in it, I shift that beautiful 6-speed rev, that 9,000 RPM flat 6, and I fall deeper and deeper in love, to the point that I've made a commitment to myself. I'm gonna put 150,000 miles on this thing and I'm never gonna get rid of it. And I'm gonna drive it every single day. But you probably...
Mickey, why do you love it so much? Like, it can't be the greatest, just a 911.
Listen, Johnny, you've got no idea. So I've come up with 5 simple points to share with you guys as to what makes this the single greatest daily driver of all time. Anyways, let's get right into it. Point number 1, the looks. This car looks like an Armani suit. The McLaren used to look like an Ed Hardy t-shirt with some True Religion jeans. Expensive, but not tasteful. This, on the other hand, looks like it's expensive, but at the same time like it's professional. It looks like a doctor or a lawyer or a professional would drive this car, whereas the McLaren looks like a little kid would drive it, which is what I was when I owned it. The looks of this car are so tasteful that you don't get everyone stopping you at gas stations being like,
how many billions do you have, Mickey? Mickey, did your daddy buy you the car? How much did the car cost?
That was every single day in the McLaren, but in this car, you have people coming up saying, is that the Touring? I've always wanted one. What an amazing car. What an amazing driving experience, isn't it? These are the questions that I've received, and the attention that I'm getting while sitting in traffic is so different. People aren't whipping out their camera phones trying to get the picture in front of the car. Instead, they're rolling down their windows giving me thumbs up because they know what it is. They know just how special this car is. This is an Armani suit. This is a custom tailored outfit that makes you look more professional, more mature, more adult. The looks make it the greatest daily driver. Secondly, and perhaps something you wouldn't anticipate, is the space. The amount of stuff you can stuff within this car, no pun intended, is tremendous, guys. First, we start with the front trunk. If we grab our keys here and we unlock the trunk, the frunk as we call it, we open it up. Look at how deep this is, right? You could fit a carry-on luggage in there, but that's not the shocking part, because the Touring has no back seats. As a matter of fact, the GT3s don't have a back seat. The back of this car behind the driver's seat has so much space. I've already made 4 or 5 runs to the supermarket, and behind here I was able to fit absolutely everything. First, you have this ridiculously large shelf back here. Look at this thing. It's huge, right? That's what she said. But anyways, you have this big shelf back here, and then you have these 2 spaces where the seats used to be, where you can also put stuff. The bottom line is, back here you could fit another couple luggages, another couple 24 packs of water. This thing has so much space you'd never believe, and this space makes it an amazing thing to drive every single day. Point number 3, guys, the manual 6-speed transmission and clutch. Listen to that. Oh my goodness, how engaging is this? Never have I had a vehicle where on my way home after a long day of work, I don't park it up in the garage. Instead, I drive around my neighborhood for 10 to 15 minutes looking to encounter stop signs. Never would you have thought that a stop sign could be so entertaining. Most of us, we underappreciate, maybe even hate the existence of stop signs. But in this car, when you pull up to a stop sign, you downshift, you hear that beautiful flat 6 rev to 4,500 to 5,000 RPM. And you enjoy the very existence of that stop sign, and you appreciate it. Not just that, but when you depart from the stop sign, you have to depress that beautifully soft, buttery, engaging clutch, right? And you have to shift that lever into first gear, and then into second gear, and then into third. It becomes one of these things. I don't know if you guys remember those little spinny things, right, that they used to sell at gas stations, but just to sit there spinning them would occupy your mind for hours and alleviate any sort of stress, any sort of negative emotions and experiences you were having throughout the day. That is what it is like to drive this manual transmission. Look, this is me all day. just like 30 miles an hour, downshift, upshift, upshift, downshift, downshift, downshift. Oh, what a masterpiece of a transmission, guys. What a masterpiece. Point number 4, ergonomics and quality. Wow, guys, this car is so well put together. And I realized it the other day. I went through one of the worst back roads in Miami, and for those of you that live here, you know just how terrible the roads can be. I was going through a series of bumps and unevenness in the road, and the car, instead of making rattles, instead of having its panels rub together and make annoying sounds, it just felt as if it were going over a regular road. All you could feel was a slight movement in the suspension, and that's it. That is why this car is so perfect. It doesn't make you think about how cheap and how unfortunately it is put together, right? It makes you think that the engineers were sitting around in a room, right, just itemizing and focusing on every square millimeter of this interior to ensure that the acoustics would be pleasing to the ear, to ensure that nobody would get annoyed by the vehicle. Whereas with the 600 LT, I had to constantly be thinking about taking the car into the dealership to have a panel adjusted, or to have the speedometer glued back onto the dash. Those were the things that I was worried about. And in this car, you don't worry about any of them. You feel like you're driving something bulletproof. You feel like the car is going to go for 200,000 miles and never break down. And I think that is what makes Porsche so great, because the 911 has been developed across so many years and across so many variations. It's almost impossible for them to build a car that's not reliable. Whereas people or brands like maybe McLaren or Ferrari or these other brands that do one-off cars where they don't refine them more and more each year, they're making new models, and these new models require more testing, more refinement over the years to alleviate the quality issues, to alleviate the bugs, as I call them in the software industry. But guys, this might be the best put together, highest quality sports car I've ever driven. Point number 5, guys, the performance and sound. Oh my goodness, that was 70 miles an hour out of a red light. What a mind-blowing experience, man. And it's not how fast it is, because like I was messing around with my Draggy a little bit earlier, and I was able to get a 4.1 second 0 to 60 blast on the street, peeling out, dumping the clutch with no other practice. So the car is obviously impressively fast, but the sound makes you feel like you're driving around in a cup car, and it makes, 0 to 60 feel like 0 to 100. Listen to this thing. 100, listen to that. Wow! And the crazy thing is that the car is a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Because when you drive it around on a day-to-day basis, you can just turn off the exhaust, turn off sport mode, drop a couple gears, and the car is a normal car where you can have a civilized conversation. That's the crazy. You get the performance, the sound, right? The Banshee like blast, roar out of the exhaust. You get that by pressing a couple buttons. Guys, never have I had a car that does both things so well, right? The comfy stuff and the crazy stuff. And not only does it do the crazy stuff well, but you're not actually going to kill yourself doing the crazy stuff. Whereas in the McLaren, trust me, you were going to kill yourself, which is why I almost did by spinning it out into a wall. That car was difficult to control. That car was intimidating. This car is inviting you to just grab it by the scruff of its neck and to take it to 9,000 RPM and downshift it. Beat it up. And that's what I enjoyed about this car so much. It invites you to beat it up. The McLaren needed to be punched in the face in order to give you any type of feedback, any type of response. This car is inviting. It's nice and polite. It's like a little Red Riding Hood going into the den of the wolves. It's just begging you, please come on, little Mickey, just beat me up a little bit harder, right? And you're just tempted to beat it up, and that's what makes it so special. 35 miles an hour, but you feel like you're on a racetrack. You see what I'm saying, guys? And I'm sorry I get emotional when I talk about these things. Let me slow it up and really collect my thoughts a little bit. The bottom line is, never have I had a car that extracts so much raw emotion and feel from you whilst taking so little, right? It doesn't take anything from you. It doesn't put your life in danger. It doesn't make you feel like you're gonna die. It just makes you feel like you're totally in control. But she's a bad, bad, bad girl underneath that nice outfit, man. She is a bad girl. And that's what I love so much about it, which is why I enjoy it so much. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the greatest daily driver of all time.